Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdul Salam Ambarok, and today I'd like to share my mind map about the EFL curriculum. So, without getting any further ado, let's walk it through one by one. The first one is environment analysis. This part is basically about checking the real situation around the teaching learning process. We want to know things like student background, how often they hear or use English in daily life, what facility the school has, what materials are available, and what rules might limit the learning process. When we understand the environment, we can adjust the curriculum so it's realistic, not too hard, not too ideal, and not something impossible to use in real class situation. For example, if a school in a village where students rarely hear English and there is no language lab, the teacher might focus on basic vocab, simple speaking drills, and printed material instead of using online platform, some kind like YouTube or advanced listening activities. But if the school is in a modern city with strong internet access, the teacher can use podcast, YouTube learning, or even international collaboration projects. And the second part is need analysis. This step is all about finding out what students actually need, what skill they must improve, what learning style they prefer, and what their English level already is. Teacher can use tests, interviews, group discussion, or simple classroom observation. So the curriculum isn't based on random guessing, but based on real data. That way, learning become more useful and on point. And for example, if a placement test show students are weak in speaking and pronunciation but good in reading, the teacher might add more pair conversation, role plays, and pronunciation practice instead of giving long reading tests. If students prefer games and teamwork, the teacher can reduce long lectures and use more interactive activities. The third part is principles. According to Nation, a good curriculum should balance meaning-focused learning, language-focused learning, and fluency development. Students should not only memorize grammar, they also need real practice, helpful input, and change to speak or write freely. These principles are like the rules of the game, so the teachers don't just teach based on habits. For example, instead of only using grammar worksheets, and the teacher could show a video meaning input, then explain the grammar use, language focus, and then students create their own video or dialogue using a similar expression. The fourth part is goals, content, and sequencing. This part explains what students must achieve, what materials they will learn, and the order of lesson goals should be realistic, clear, and useful. The material should cover vocabulary, grammar, and all English skill, but it match real life situation. The lesson order must go from easy, medium, difficult, so students don't feel lost. For example, 7th graders is better to start with self-introduction, daily routines, and school activities before moving to past tense, storytelling, or formal writing. So instead of instantly learning argumentative essay, they learn basic communication step by step. And the next part is format and presentation. This part is about how the teacher delivers the lesson. It includes activity types, time management, teaching flow, and what media or tools are used. Books, video, group work, online platform, games, dan lain-lain. The goal is to make learning active and meaningful and fun, not boring and monotone. For example, a teacher might start with warm-up game, then a video explanation, then pair word speaking practice, and with reflection. And another example, students can record TikTok style videos for speaking assignment instead of just reading scripts. And the last part is monitoring and assessment. This stage checks student progress using different kind of assessment: quiz, test project, portfolio, peer assessment, and self-assessment. The goal isn't just about giving grades, but seeing what needs improvement and how to adjust learning strategies. And feedback is super important to show students know how far they've been improved. For example, instead of relying on midterms and final exams, teachers can check weekly speaking logs, writing journals, peer assessment, and online rubrics. Example, yeah, like example feedback is like your pronunciation is getting better, but try to speaking louder and using more expression. So I think that's enough for me. And Nation EFL curriculum is like complete cycle. It starts with knowing the environment, checking student needs, and applying solid principle. Planning goals and content, deciding how to present lessons, and finally monitoring progress. And if all parts connected smoothly, learning become way more effective, meaningful, and useful. I think that's all enough for me. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.